Installment in this series on React hooks. We are going to create a blog using React hooks, and last time we left off by just implementing the form, which we are going to now today use to add posts to the application. Right now all this does is we have a state in this component, as you can see down here, and these fields are that state, and then by publishing the post we just clear it out. But today we want to, instead of just making these empty, we also want to add the content and the title to an array of posts. So let's get to it. Just to remind everybody, we have our blog component, which is kind of the parent component, and in it right now we are returning just the blog form, which is where all those fields are. And we are going to now pass down in props an add post property into the blog form component, and we're going to implement a function here. We're going to call it add post handler. So I'll just put that in here, and then we'll create a constant, which is the add post handler, which takes in a post and is going to do something. So right now, I think let's just console log whatever post we get, and then we'll add it to the array soon. So let's save that, and now we have to hook this up to the blog, because right now the blog form has this prop, but it's not used at all. So when do we want to use it? We want to use it when the person presses the button to publish the post, and that is called on the submit, on the form, which is the submit handler. So we want to call this function the submit handler. So what we're going to do is we're going to call props, and then we are going to let's just remember we called it add post, and we want to pass in the post. So we're going to pass in an object that actually is going to have three properties. So the first two we know, which is the title, which equals the entered title, which we saw in the previous video that this is the state here. Why am I getting an error here? 1 second. And then, that's why, just because I put a semicolon. And then content in this should be entered content. Entered content. And we want to add one more property because React's going to want this from us later when we display them. We want to have an ID. And for the ID, we're going to use not really a unique number, but we're just going to have a random number from 1 to 1,000. And then, that will work for our purposes. We don't really want to do this in an actual application, but for here, I think it's fine. We just want an ID for a few reasons, in order to identify the post, and also to React doesn't give us an error when we're displaying it. So, with that done, let's check out what happens in our application when we do this. So let's create post 1, and now let's write this is the content for post 1. We'll see what happens. Now remember, we didn't actually write any code to display it here, so we're going to be checking the state in the blog component to see what happens. So let's go to the blog. Nothing's there. So let's see what happens. So we added a post. Oh, well, actually it should be in the console, right? Because we outputted it to console over here. So let's see. Look at this. Post 1. The ID is 622. And the title is post 1. Beautiful. So that is working. Now this is being called with this post. And now all we have to do is create a state in the blog component that we now save all of the posts inside of. So we used in the previous video the use state hook, and we're going to use that again here to create the state of the posts, and then have a set posts function. And we're going to initialize it to be an empty array because this eventually is going to be an array of posts. Now, in order to update, to add the posts, to add the post when the button's pressed, we want to add this post, which we displayed now on the console. We want to add it to the post state. And the way we're going to do that is by using a function. This is the previous posts, and that is going to, then we are going to have a spread operator for the previous post and then add the current post. So let's see what happens when we do it. And now we can actually check the state part in our development. We can actually in the React developer tools. So we want the state right now is an empty array. And now let's see if we add, let's just title 1 and then content 1, publish the post, and then look, now we have an object in our state, which is this new post, and with a random ID, and then the title and content. So as you can imagine, this could be very useful because we could do this a bunch of times. Title 2, content 2, and so on and so forth, and this can be useful. So here we go, and now in the next time we're going to start displaying these. We'll probably in next video or 2 videos start displaying these posts to this screen. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.